I think this is going to be my last topic for today, but there was like a couple of things that I wanted to get off of my shoulder. Okay, here's the thing. I have been trying to like compile, it wasn't even a list. It was like find a better way to tell this story of like why I am telling this story. This story is also very out of order. This is not a story that's like day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. The story is kind of starting for you guys in chapter like 7, okay, and now we're in like chapter 14 or something. And all of chapters like 1 through 6, they just weren't even, I didn't get around to writing them yet because I just honestly haven't had time. Life is lifing, right? So, anyway. But today, I think something that was interesting, I met a dad who was talking about how he wants his daughter to do the program and how she's a writer and how that's really cool. And I was like, I'm a writer. And I think that, like, I want to, like, clarify what this channel has to do with my writing. Like, how do those things intersect? Like, what does one thing have to do with another? So I'm just going to break that down for you. So for me, it kind of started with therapy. Obviously, therapy was great. It was a way to have someone who was not a part of my life kind of hear some parts of my story and just, you know, kind of not rationalize it, like explain, oh, this happened because of this and because of this. It was more like hear my side of the story and then help me unpack it more for me. Now, once I was able to do that, it gave me the autonomy to kind of like think about some of those experiences. And then in my journaling, like, so when things are happening each day, I can say like, oh, well, you know, this made me feel this way, and like this made me feel this way, and this made me feel this way. And so now I have like all these thoughts about the stuff that is happening, has happened, the goals that I want, like people who inspire me. That has been huge. And I feel like that is one of the reasons why I really wanted to like come online and just have a space, because lots of people have inspired me. I really like Kelly Stamps a lot. I feel like for me, when I found her content, she had actually already been making content for a while, and I wish I would have caught wind of some of the older content. But even the stuff when I caught it, it felt really nice to see like a Black girl who was just in the online space. And there's a lot of other content creators like Khadijah and Mjabwe. She is great with her video essays. I'd never heard anyone talk about pop culture or culture in society, especially like urban pop culture, in a way that I heard her talk about it. And so for me, it gave like these in-depth analyses about kind of like being a woman in society, and really helped me like craft a narrative with like a bunch of historical references about how and why, you know, maybe like life is the way it is for me as a woman in this society. And I think that that was really important to know. I also really appreciate Kai. I saw that she put out a video today. I didn't watch it yet, but I will watch it. But for me, some of like her content, when I saw it, I thought it was a little bit strange, but she was putting out this content that was about like in-depth emotions. And I was like, why is she doing that? Like, what is she talking about? Why is she doing that? That's what I thought. And then I was like, oh, it makes sense a little. It makes sense. Especially if you're a person with the feelings, not the feels about stuff. It's nice to talk about it. But I really like the girl Layla. She's like a South African blogger, but then she like has gone and done a bunch of stuff since then. It looks like now she's living in Switzerland, and she's kind of blogging about like her job, her current relationship, like things like that. And I think it's fascinating. Like, I like to watch it. I think it is like humanizing her, and I thought the beginning content that she put out, I thought it was awesome. Like, I loved it. It was her like telling stories about like kind of how she escaped South Africa almost, and like how it was a whole bunch of people in her community that were really coming for her. Like, they did not like her. They were kind of like ostracizing her in a way, and she managed to like get out of that situation. Though it's not really clear like exactly what she did to get out of that situation. I will also say something, and it's kind of a theme that I feel like I have noticed. I don't know, maybe you've noticed this too. But sometimes in the town, in the place that you have grown up, people are trying to find themselves, and they are trying to like use you to find themselves. So for instance, I think a lot of people for a very long time have been confused about Americana, what it means to be an American, what it means, like how that relates to their identity. Maybe it doesn't relate to their identity. That is true for some people, but for others it's like all they know. Like they don't have another culture, like they don't have another story, like that is the story. And I don't think that that's a bad thing at all. I actually think that that's a good thing. I guess the point though is that like, okay, so like with that narrative, and if that is your story and that's your only story, like what are you like, what are you going to like, not what are you going to do with that? Maybe that's like a not exactly what I'm thinking, but more like what does that mean? And I think what it kind of means is like freedom. It can mean safety. It can mean whatever experiences like your family has had. But hopefully by the time that you reach adulthood, you've had some experiences that are like unique to you. I think one of the other reasons, kind of unique attributes of this channel is that like I feel like when I reached adulthood, there are quite a lot of other people who are trying to understand their privilege relative to mine. So there's a lot of people who have much more privilege than say me, and then obviously there's a lot of people who have less. So what does that, how, so it's very hard to explain how someone with, let's say, a lot less privilege than you would be able to have relative success or more success than you, unless of course they are just highly talented, skilled, gifted, and loved, you know. Then that, in that case, it's like, well, what can you do? But like, let's say that they don't see that. And I think that that's another, I saw Jasmine Toots posted something yesterday, and I kind of want to echo it. I don't actually believe this applies to me, but she said it, and I thought it was interesting to like repeat. It was someone else who posted something that was like, yeah, you know, like sometimes you just feel it inside of yourself. You know that you have it, and like no one else can like take it from you, and like, you know, you're just waiting for your time. You're just waiting for your time. I think that if we're being honest, if you are like a Black woman really anywhere in this world, that is awful advice to take. I really feel like it is extremely important for you to ground yourself, mostly because society is working overtime to unground you. Like wherever you are, other people have already made their interpretations of what you are going through, how like your story relates to their life. It might not at all. Like literally you might have nothing in common with them, but still they're like finding ways to introduce you into their story, and it is the most frustrating shit ever. Because you might be sitting here like, wait, we don't have anything in common. Like we're not, no. They don't care though. Like they don't care. It's not. They're still gonna put you in the narrative. Like you get to be a part of their story, unfortunately. And some of it is because they hate you, and that kind of sucks, but you just have to deal with it. Even though it does suck, it sucks. That's also the reality. Anyways, right on, ladies and gentlemen, when you're having experiences in the real world, what you should do is write down whatever you understand about the experience. It can be on a napkin. I do it on receipt paper a lot. It's just kind of describing the thing that's happened, just like a title, like girl forgets cash, staff calf ticket forgotten, whatever it is. Write it down, right? And then you can come back to it later and unpack it. And that is gold. it's a gold that everybody sleeps on, because you think that like these experiences are really that nuanced or something, or that like you're the only one going through that. And little did you know, if you were to write it down or explain it in some way that conveyed a broader message, it would actually help quite a lot of people, because other people are going through that too and they don't know how to explain it, but maybe you do. Think about it.